Hi y'all, welcome to Spirit Mail. I'm Cheryl and this is episode 62 of Daily Mail. Today we're going to talk about that famous card, I should have pulled it, the Seven of Pentacles, where the lady is sitting there with her, guys, I'm never prepared, where she's sitting there with her little rake or her basket while she's waiting to collect from Spirit, right? She's waiting to collect the fruits of her labor. And whenever I pull this card in my readings, I always talk about, we're responsible for certain things, but then we have to let Spirit do what Spirit wants to do. So we're responsible to dig up the earth, put the seed in there, and then cover it back up. But then after that, the only thing we're responsible to do is make sure that little seed gets watered every now and then. And it grows and does its thing by the hand of the universe, not by us, right? And then we can go pick its fruits. Well, it's not only in what we do in our physical life, but like for work or something we're trying to manifest. It even includes meditation. And the reason that I say that is because we've talked a couple different times, and people have asked, how do you connect with Spirit? And I said, basically I just kind of get quiet. I just get quiet and invite them in. And wait and listen and clear my head. That's all I need to do. Well, and I talk about some people who think, you have to meditate 10 hours a day, cut 28,000 cartwheels and 12,000 back bends, and then Spirit might come talk to you. Well, I want to share with you an email. Well, that you can't see anything but a blank screen, but an email I received from one of our subscribers who I absolutely adore. And I've done a personal reading for her, so we've had time to visit. Her name is Wendy, and she gave me permission to use this story in a Daily Mail to make a point. So she starts out by saying, I don't know if you remember me, but of course I remember her. Then she says, a funny thing happened on the way to my ascension. One day while I was listening to, One day while I was listening to another YouTube tarot reader, the subject of meditation was brought to my attention. And actually, this is a recurring message for most readers and one that I like to avoid. Now, I've been trying to meditate, and I found it to be very hard, unfruitful, and frankly exhausting. One day, I put on and she names a guided meditation, and because it's a guided meditation and they're asking you to do all these things, I decided I'm not going to name the person, but a very well-known guided meditator, and started to work. One day I put on that meditation and I started to work. And I mean work. She said the readers said Ascension took a lot of hard work. So on came my work clothes and my gloves, and I got it and I got at it. The guided meditator, the guide, called in the 4 archangels. So I greet the archangels and immediately run to get them chairs, coffee, tea, and dainties. At the same time, I'm holding up the first side of my energy field and focusing on the energy streams, directing them in the areas that need work, beseeching all along that Spirit would remove blockages, send in healing energy, and telling them where to put the stuff. Then, running madly, I shore up the south side of the field, and I'm holding up 2 sides of the energy field. So in her meditation, she's doing all this work, right? I hold up 2 sides of the energy field, beseeching and directing the energy fields, refilling the coffee cups, and getting ready to run to the west side to put up heavy beams to hold that side up too, running to check if the other 2 sides are holding and that the energy streams are focused in the right places, and now it's time for the north side. If that's not enough, the guide calls in Metatron and Sandalphon and their gods of light that must be anchored in the heart. Okay, so does this mean the physical heart or just the heart chakra? Who knows? I just tie them down with big notes. Still beseeching and directing. I make it to the end of the meditation, dripping sweat, exhausted, and pretty sure I missed the whole point. How in the world do people meditate daily? This is certainly not fun, and not at all how I imagine that the masters would meditate. But hey, what do I know? The next time I started to meditate, I actually saw what I was doing, and I thought, hey, you don't suppose Spirit knows how to do their job, and really they don't need me to write the play or build the sets or the stage. Duh. So I stopped and only allowed myself to say amen to signify my permission for them to enter and do what they needed to do. So in this guided meditation, instead of her in her mind in this meditation going around working, doing all this stuff, she just says amen and allows it to happen. And she says, wow, what a difference. I was relaxed, calm, and found comfort in the meditation. She says, I grew up in the Anglican church and read and heard the tales of biblical people crying, beseeching, pounding the doors of heaven with their fists so God would hear and answer their fervent prayers. So that's what I believed and tried to do. If I had had sackcloth and ashes, I would have worn that while getting the chairs along with a broom and scrub pail so that I could clean up my trail of ashes that I was leaving all over the place. I just shook my head and had to laugh at myself. I'm sure the angels got quite a kick out of it. I probably got rave reviews. Lesson, I'm just going to do my part and allow Spirit or universe to do their part. So when it comes to meditation, thank you, Wendy, so much for that email because it made me chuckle. I'm sure it made your angels chuckle too. So when it comes to meditation, basically, all we have to do is show up. And if we're listening to a guided meditation, and some of us do, I've listened to them too at times, because sometimes I have a hard time shutting my mind down. So if I can close my eyes and allow the guided meditation to walk me through the process, it keeps me focused on meditating versus thinking about what I need to do tomorrow. But if we can just show up and say, okay, Spirit, here I am. I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you minister to me. I'm going to let you tell me what it is I need to hear. Or we're just going to be together. We don't have to have an outcome. It doesn't have to be an answer. There doesn't have to be a question. It's just a matter of showing up. That is our part where we plant that seed. When it comes to meditation, when it comes to how we are going to communicate with Spirit, right? They don't need us to cut 28,000 cartwheels and 12,000 back bends. They really don't. They just need us to show up and make ourselves available and then allow them to do whatever it is they're going to do, whether they want to communicate with us or just love on us, whatever it is. Sometimes I call myself the lazy meditator because I lay down to meditate. And sometimes whenever I lay down, I barely get my head on that pillow and I can feel so much love coming from them that immediately the tears come because it's so overwhelming. And that's all that happens during a meditation sometimes is just the love, which is absolutely fulfilling because then your cup runs over, right? So yeah, our part as far as meditation, our major job is to show up and get quiet and clear my mind and then allow Spirit to do whatever it is that needs to be done in our highest and best good. Okay, so again, I want to thank Wendy for sharing that email and giving me permission to share it with you guys and she can laugh at herself. And I kind of chuckle because I could see me doing the same thing in the beginning. I would, kind of do things like that. I did a guided meditation one time and it was about, getting out of the boat and walking down the beach and then going up the stairs that were cut into the cavern or into the side of the earth up into a grassy area. And I'm doing all this stuff and it's like you do get exhausted and you're so caught up with so much stuff that's going on. It's like you don't even know whenever you get done why were you there because you're just tired because you went on this big old trip. So the main thing that you have to do whenever it comes to connecting with Spirit, when it comes to meditating, your main part, the seed that you're going to plant, your physical part of it is to show up, right? And then allow the thoughts and the worries to clear from your mind so that spirit can communicate with you. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm just going to tell you two little things. One of them is that today in one of the readings, the Serenity Prayer came to my mind again, and I could not say it again. So Wayne Peak, I think his name is one of our subscribers who put in the comments, he wrote it out for me. It's, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And sometimes that's a fabulous prayer, to be able to release those things that we really can't change. And I've recently been listening to a guy named Richard Rohr, and he is a Franciscan priest. And if you have not listened to any of his stuff, I'm not trying to convert anybody. You know that I no longer identify with Christianity because of whatever. I'm not going to go through all that again, but this guy, who is a Franciscan priest, really and truly, he gets it, and he talks about all of this stuff about energy and about we're all one, and that Jesus' last name wasn't Christ. You know, he was talking about Jesus had the Christ consciousness, and that it was there. The Christ consciousness is there for all of us, so we all can embody that Christ consciousness. Jesus was not, his last name wasn't Christ. So anyway, one of the things that I heard him say in one of his meetings as he was leaving the meeting, they asked for him to guide them in prayer, so to speak, to leave. And he said, yes. He said, and I want you to do this with me, and then we're going to do the PS. Well, no, we're going to do the PS, then we're going to do his prayer at the end. That's what we're going to do. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for allowing us to have the Spirit Mail community. I thank you that we get to talk to you and about you and with each other about this journey and where we are and how we all actually have way more in common than we are different. Show us, please, clearly what is the PS as it relates to this daily mail about just showing up. What is the PS? What could I have said better? Or what might I have said that I forgot to say? Thank you for clear and concise messages. I thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And I thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. That one must be pretty important. Yeah, put down our burdens. Y'all, let me tell you something. There are things that we carry that if we hold on to them, we'll carry them for the rest of our lives because we're never going to change it. I'm going to go back to the Tuesday, it was Saturday morning roundtable or Tuesday night deep dive. I can't remember which it was. We spoke to, I think it was a Saturday morning, spoke to a friend of mine, Kara Sargent, who's a licensed professional counselor, and she said her 3 favorite letters are FCC. Can I fix it? Can I change it? Can I control it? If I can't do those 3 things, I need to put it down. But a lot of us continue to carry that stuff. And that goes back to that serenity prayer. Goes back to that meditation. We don't have to do all this work in meditation. All we got to do is show up and let Spirit do their thing. And then all we got to do is say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, to the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? We have to put down these burdens that we're carrying that do not belong to us. Look. And whenever we can put that stuff down, really and truly, Spirit does become the steam that runs our engine, that moves our engine forward in our lives, that brings us to those places that we really, really want to go, those things that we really want to experience. Spirit brings us to those places that are bigger and better than anything we could ever imagine, because our little minds are finite. Our little monkey brains only can imagine the things that either we've experienced or that we've witnessed other people experience. That's all we can imagine. But Spirit's way bigger than that. So if we can put down these things that aren't ours to carry, and we can allow Spirit to move us, take inspired actions, right? And allow Spirit to move us forward, then we can experience things bigger and better than anything we could ever imagine. And sometimes it takes us getting out of our comfort zone. You know, we were talking last night on Deep Dive about past life regression, and the topic of meditation came up, and a couple of our friends in there talked about, they have trouble meditating because they have fear. They have fear that if these guides come in, these guides might be demons or fallen angels or something like that, evil entities. So sometimes it takes us getting out of our comfort zone. We can't do this without something called trust, right? So whenever we come to a place where we can truly trust that the universe does have our back, that the Creator who created us does actually live a part of himself inside of us, or herself, whatever you want to call it, whenever we can trust that we're protected by the Creator who created us, the Creator that created the entire universe, whenever we can look out at the cosmos and see that the same energy that created and hung that moon, and the same energy that created and hung every single star out there, is the same energy that lives inside of us, then we can hold on to that relationship within ourselves with our Creator, and we have a little bit more boldness to step out of our comfort zone and allow ourselves through meditation to have that communion with Spirit and with our guides and our angels and our archangels, to allow us to have that love fest. If that's all it is a love fest during any particular meditation. Unless we step out of our comfort zone and do that, we can't experience that. We never allow ourselves the opportunity to experience it if we can't trust Spirit really does have our back. So Richard Rohr, whenever he leaves a meeting or whatever, he doesn't do it always, I don't guess, but a couple times I've seen him do it in his lectures on YouTube. He goes through this ending prayer, and we're going to do it, and I'm going to ask you to do it with me. And the first thing he says is, "Be still and know that I am God." And I'm saying, breathe in and breathe out. Be still and know, and breathe in and breathe out. Be still and breathe in and breathe out. Be and breathe in and breathe out. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Spirit Mail community. Thank you for enjoying the Spirit Mail Tarot readings. And thank you for engaging in our live stream interviews on Saturday mornings and on Tuesday nights. You really are a big part of my life, and I appreciate each and every one of you more than you'll ever know. I love you, and go out and have a super duper day. Bye.